This podcast is Into the Airbnb, and I am JS Hawk. Today's guest is Alexander. He runs one listing in Redwood City, at the heart of the Silicon Valley. The listing is called Cozy One-Bedroom Pool House with Bedroom Loft. It's a self-contained one-bedroom pool house. Average occupancy rate is 80%. Nightly rate is $160. So it's generating over $3,500 per month before tax. When did you start and why did you start?
Sure. I have had a painting cleaning business for 16 years. And what I do is very much tied in with real estate, rentals, people buying, selling, moving, renting. And what I would do for the last 16 years is make a place look perfect after the family would move out.
Right.
And I was doing a job in Redwood City for a very young couple. And I'm 41.
Yep.
This young girl was probably 10 years younger. And they had a little baby. And I went to their house and I was going to give them a quote for painting and cleaning.
Right.
And I had asked her, so what do you guys rent this place for? I always asked to know because my wife and I had the pool house in our backyard that we had always rented for yearly rentals. And we bought this house in 2009. And at first we were a little skeptical to rent it out because we wanted our privacy and we were young. And then we started realizing quickly that we have a lot of bills and the money could be great. So we rented it for a year to an older woman, a grandmother, for a very low amount just to test the waters out.
Yeah.
And after she moved out, we got a young Facebook kid because Facebook's headquarters are in Menlo Park, which is 5-10 minutes drive from here.
Yeah.
And the Facebook kid was wonderful and he was great. He stayed a year and a half. And when he left is when I went to that young woman's house and I asked her what she rented it for.
Right.
And she had a one-car garage that they converted into a little studio unit. And their unit was much smaller, less desirable neighborhood. It just wasn't anywhere as nice as our unit.
Yeah.
And she told us that she was making over $3,000 a month.
Right.
And I was astounded because this is years ago. This is when that unit should have rented for $1,300.
Yeah.
And I could not believe that they were getting so much money. And so I came home super excited after asking her so many questions. And I told my wife. And she goes, no way. We're not going to have a hotel in our backyard. And we're not going to have different people coming. So I knew that was my biggest hurdle was my wife. I had worked on her and the ideas and answering all of her questions and the details for 6 months. And finally, she agreed to do it. So we started buying furniture and not making it an empty yearly rental, but making it occupied with furniture for Airbnb. And when we finally had it set up, which was really easy to do, just like anything new in life, when you've never been on Airbnb or been on the website, it's confusing for the first person.
Yep.
But when you really sit down and set it up, it's very easy, very quick, very user-friendly. But for the first 2 or 3 weeks, we didn't get a hit. And this is exactly what you probably want to know. We were nervous. We had put money into buying a couch, a TV, paying for cable, buying all the toiletries and the glassware and the kitchenware. So after 2 weeks and not getting a hit, we were a little nervous.
Right.
And we were starting to get scared. And then all of a sudden our first hit came.
Yeah.
And it was a woman from Turkey.
Okay.
And she said, hey, I'm moving to my husband and we are going to be working for a tech company.
Yep.
And we'd like to rent your place for 7 months.
Is it common to have long-term guests in your Airbnb?
Yeah, so we have been very fortunate. It very much depends on your situation. Our rental is across our backyard, and owning a painting cleaning business and being in the hospitality industry, it made it very easy for us to get long-term guests. There are people who rent rooms out of their house or just have a small apartment with as homey as our pool house. They may not get the same long-term rentals that we've had, but for us, yes, most of our renters are people that are long term. And currently we have someone that is remodeling their house in our neighborhood, and they rented our place for 3 months. You start to come up with as a new Airbnb host, you start to come up with who would rent my place, who would want to be here for 6 months, or who would want to be here for 2 months.
Right.
And the answer truly is you don't know. It'll be your neighbor's grandmother. It'll be your a neighbor up the block who you've never met, just had a grandchild in the area, and they want to come stay, but they don't want to stay with their son and their daughter-in-law because it's too close and too personal. So they want to be close, but they don't want to be in a hotel and get screwed by all the hotel taxes and occupancy taxes and parking taxes. So yeah, most of our renters and guests have been long-term. I'd say minimum 3 weeks and most of them months.
Are you just on Airbnb, or do you use any other channels like HomeAway?
So we have only done Airbnb. There's a few reasons why. My wife and I years ago stayed at a VRBO and we had a bad experience. The house that we had rented, the photos looked like the same place, but the owner had let the place go, and it was very filthy and dirty. The neighborhood was not safe, and there was also mice running in and out of the furniture.
Wow.
When we called it VRBO to ask for help, they offered no help.
Right.
They said, we'll contact the owner and send them a message, but we're just a middleman. We cannot offer anything. We cannot force them to do anything, and we're sorry, but that's it.
Okay.
And the homeowner wasn't very friendly in terms of solving our situation or helping out or offering us a discount.
Yep.
And in the end, we had to try and fight it out with her, and we didn't get anything back.
I see.
So our reason for using Airbnb is because they do have a large platform for helping out. They do have $1 million policy to help out if something gets broken.
Yep.
They are a great middleman for solving things, and they have resources. The third reason why we love Airbnb and haven't tried anyone else is they have worked out a deal with our city so that if someone stays less than 30 days, they will facilitate and directly take out of the situation, the equation, the occupancy tax, which is also known as the hotel tax, which is 12% in our area. And a lot of the other sites have not done this yet. The first couple of years, Airbnb hadn't worked out any deals with any cities.
Right.
But recently, in the last 6 months, they had worked out a deal with Redwood City. So we don't have to come in to Redwood City with paperwork and say, I've had this many guests for this much time. How much do I owe? It just comes out of the equation, and it's really easy on our end.
Right. So there will be no tax at all for any bookings below 30 days?
If it's over 30 days, you just pay your regular taxes like, you do at the end of the year. So you made an income.
Yeah.
And because most of ours have been longer than 30 days, it hasn't been a big hit to us. But us personally, my wife and I don't really have a problem paying the 12% tax when it's under 30 days. We think that's a fair thing for us to pay because it's such a wonderful opportunity for our family.
Right. Okay. I see. And what's the typical demography of the guests?
I would say most of our guests are younger, and I wouldn't say, teenager 20. I would say most people are young families. I would say probably about your age, late 20s to early to mid 40s. But not to say we haven't had a few grandparents or haven't had a few 50s or 60-year-old, but most people are families looking to relocate, or people coming to try and start a new business in Silicon Valley, or people coming to visit college bound children. So they might have people at Berkeley or Stanford, and then also there is the people just coming to visit family in the area, which is also a big one. But really, it's just amazing that you never know why they're coming or who they're coming to see until they tell you.
Right.
But there is a lot of opportunity in our area. Right. I have looked recently on a map to look at my competition, and I was shocked to find there are tons of new listings. I mean, I would say 40 new listings in my area from the last time that I had looked at it a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And because there's more listings, obviously that's going to affect the price. So I should be technically lowering my price by about $20 a night, but I have yet to do that because we're lucky enough with having enough bookings.
Do you personally block your calendar for like certain purpose, like for your private use?
Yeah, actually, the people that we are renting to right now for 3 months that are remodeling their house,
right.
I blocked a week after they're leaving. The reason why I did this is because they have young children,
right.
They have pets, and I could tell just in the first week that they were staying here that they're going to be very hard on my property. Meaning I'm going to need a day to fully do touch-up painting. Right. I'm going to need a day for carpet cleaning, and I'm probably going to need 2 days of cleaning. I know that sounds excessive, but I didn't want to have someone book 2 days after they're leaving and not be able to return my property into the pristine condition that it deserves to be in for the next guest.
Right.
We also, my wife and I, will book things in the summer. If family members coming to town and we want them to stay with us, that's what gives us the flexibility. Airbnb for us allows us to make more money monthly for our client, for our family, which pays our high mortgage in the Bay Area. Mortgage in the Bay Area can be anywhere from $4,000 to $12,000. And if you have an average job, it's a lot to pay that. So Airbnb gives us the flexibility to use our pool house and allow family members to stay there and us to use it. But it also allows us to make more money monthly than we would have for a regular rental.
What's your like occupancy rate, you would say? Because right now I can see that you're fully booked for next 2 months.
We are currently booked more than enough. I would say that we are easily 75 to 80% booked. That would be the best, because I know that on most months, we usually have renters for 2 to 3 months at a time, several times a year. And on the other times, we're still booked 3 months out of the week. So I would say we're doing very good.
I saw that your price was higher in the weekend. Did you like change it manually?
Oh, yeah. So here's the funny thing. I set up those prices 3 years ago.
Right. 3 years ago.
Weekend, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I just chose numbers the best I could. And I have yet to change those because they've still worked for the last 3 years.
Right.
And every time when someone doesn't stay with us for 2 weeks and I start to get worried and I'm about to lower the price, someone books it for 3 months. And I go, I guess I'll leave it. So, so I chose Friday and Saturday nights to be higher prices, just like hotels do.
Right.
And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are cheaper. But really, now that I'm saying this out loud, I'm kind of doing it backwards, because in Silicon Valley, all of these fancy hotels that we have charge $700 a night for Monday through Friday for the tech workers. And then the weekends, when they all are gone, they dropped to $200. So maybe I should be doing mine backwards, but so far it's been working.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jay. Have a great day.
Yep, you too. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.